Joining us now on Bali Update Podcast is Andrew de Jong, the co-founder of the Bali Animal Food Bank. Hello, Andrew. How are you today?
Good, man. How are you?
Good. Listen, we just seen the inspiring film of your last food bank, which was on Saturday of last week. And
Yep.
how many dogs and cats did you feed on that occasion?
Last Saturday, we had 4,000 cats and 3,000 dogs around Bali that benefited from food being distributed on the day. There was over 200 people came through on Saturday to collect 2 ton of dog and cat food and 500 kilos of rice.
Oh, and where did the inspiration come from for this idea of there are people in Bali who feed street dogs. There are people who save street dogs or wounded dogs, but your approach is rather unique and interesting. Tell us a bit about that approach and how you came to do it.
Well, it started off with a call on Facebook of a lady who had about 25 street dogs that she was keeping in her home. And she said that she's lost her job due to COVID and she can't feed the animals anymore and was calling for some help. So I just quickly contacted a bunch of my friends and I got about 10 million rupee together. And I just filled the car up full of food and drove out to Uluwatu to visit the lady and said, here you go. Here's some food for the next month or two to feed all the dogs. She was just in tears and so happy that she had food to feed all the animals. Well, I then spoke to Robbie, who owns the Bali Beach Shack in Legian. And she's a street feeder and also a rescuer for cats. And she said, it's not just dogs, it's cats as well, all around Bali that are getting dumped. And there's a huge issue. So we sat down and decided to work out how can we assist everybody. Mostly the profile of the general person that we help is somebody who's unemployed, who's lost their job due to COVID. That's one of the rules that we do stick to, is that you have to have lost your job and you can't feed your animals. Because we're looking at it this way, what they're doing is they're spending money on feeding their animals and not feeding themselves. So if we can feed the animals for them, then they're getting food for themselves as well. Then there are all the street feeders who are have been inundated with the amount of dumpings of dogs and cats on the beaches and streets around Bali. It's crazy. Thousands and thousands of animals are being dumped because people can't afford to feed them anymore. So if we can help them feed their animals at home, they're not going to dump them onto the streets and make a bigger problem.
Andrew, what do you estimate it costs to feed a dog or a cat?
Look, we always say an average meal is 50 cents to feed a dog or a cat. So we look at around about $15 per month to feed them. We are currently getting donations on average of most months between $3,000 and $4,000 a month, which enables us to buy all that food and to feed all those animals, and allows us to have at least 200 applicants per month come in, which are a mix of people who have lost their job and street feeders.
Now,
we could double that.
You could double that. You have twice as many people needing assistance as you can provide right now. So you could use another $3,000. You could use another $3,000 each month to really meet the demand that you're finding in the community. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah, and we're contacting pet food companies for donated food anywhere we can get access to food or funds. We're trying. We've been very, very lucky to get a lot of generosity from people from overseas who are donating via our website, via PayPal or GoFundMe, and also cash donations. We are affiliated with the Mum Foundation here in Bali, which we all know they're quite a reputable foundation here in Bali, run by Richard Flax. And they are the legal entity behind our business, or not our business, sorry, our charity. And people can donate through their bank accounts as well.
So at the end of this podcast, we'll put up the links for your GoFundMe and your website, so that our listeners on this podcast can make a donation.
Thank you. That'd be wonderful.
Well, Andrew, just to tell you, we're all impressed with what you do for the dogs. I have 4 dogs at my house, but I won't ask you for any dog food, not quite yet. But
we could throw you a bone if we needed to.
And you have how many dogs at your house?
I've got 3 dogs and 1 cat. Well, the cat thinks he's a dog.
Well, anyway, good health and good luck to all of you. Thank you for joining us on this Bali Update podcast. And this has been Andrew de Jong of the Bali Animal Food Bank, which he co-founded.